Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about getting tips from me, it seems. So let's get into it. So the question in question was a little bit of a story. Hi Frederick, I am 26 and I started to learn web development when I was just turning 23, and I have been studying on and off since then. I am a self-taught developer and I like it very much, but I constantly feel bad for myself for not getting hired at a first web developer job. I haven't started applying because I always feel like I am not good enough. I feel like so much time has passed by very quickly, but I don't have much to offer other than the basics of front end and React. It has been really hard for me to stay focused and motivated from my troubled past, and I have either gotten bored or burned out several times for coding dozens and dozens of toy projects and following along with seamlessly endless video courses. This career path is for me, but it's just been very difficult. If you have any input or advice for me, it would be very much appreciated. Yeah, it would be very much appreciated. Well, the reality is, well, so I have a few things that I immediately take from this is that so you have studying on and you're self-taught, you have studied for 3 years and you only learned the front end of React and front end. Now you then go on to state that you have had it's been really hard for you to stay focused and motivated due to your troubled past. Dude, that does not matter to anybody. I know it sucks, but that is the reality. When you say on and off again, dude, that is not going to be good enough. It's not. It's the reality. The learning the basics is not gonna get you into make you into a master. It's sort of like if it's sort of like a fat person saying that, well, I really want to have a six pack, but due to how much sugar I've eaten when I was a kid, I just can't commit to it. And I'm like, okay, good, then you will stay fat. There is no nicer way to put it. There are people who are going to who will give you Care Bear answers on social media, that you can pour your heart out to people and they will just say that you're special, and like they will make you feel better. But if the thing that you are looking for is to feel better, then I can say that there are absolutely people who will make you feel better. But if you want to become a software developer, that's the difference between feeling like achieving things and feeling things. The achievement that you're looking for is not going to happen with on and off studying. And it doesn't really matter if you burn yourself out or you get bored. I mean, that's on you. I can give you tips on how to deal with burnout, and like the bored part, that's also something I can give you tips around. But the reality is this, dude. Software development is a serious endeavor. It is. You can think of it as equal in practically, like in conceptually equal to becoming a fitness person, or like going from being very unfit to being very fit. We're talking about a serious investment, many hours over years of work to get really good at this thing. That is what you're looking at. If that is not something that you are interested in, as you were saying, like you have spent 3 years on and off and you still just learned the basic, that does not sound like a serious commitment. So to me, it does not, like, I don't know what the circumstances are, but if you have only learned the basics in that amount of time, it's more likely that you are not seriously committing to this thing, or you are unable to seriously commit to this thing. And so I will tell you that from what I can see here, you're making sort of excuses for yourself. That's number one. And I think you're making excuses for yourself more or less because you're scared. That's what I am reading into this. So what my tip to you is this: ready yourself to mentally fail. Like, ready yourself mentally to not make it, and learn how to cope with it. That is the best move that you can make. The reason is very simple. If you're too scared to really commit, you're too not undetermined, then nothing's going to change. That is the reality. You're just fooling yourself, just as the person who keeps on eating ice cream when they're trying to be on a diet. It's not going to work, unfortunately. No matter how nice of a person you are, no matter how, you can be the best person in the world, have every justification, but at the end of the day, reality works in the way reality works. And so the process is, as I like to say, the process of becoming a software developer is actually very simple. It's just not easy, which is the problem for a lot of people, where you're not willing to put in the work. And as I like to say, when people ask me how hard is it, like how much do I have to put in, I say it depends on you. How are you willing to go as far as necessary? It's the quote from the end of the Boondock Saints, where they basically say, are you willing to go as far as necessary? That's the reality. There are people every day, guys, who work so hard and achieve a fraction of the people that you see on Instagram and social media and so forth and so forth. Yet they have the motivation and dedication and have learned to cope with the fear of failure, so that they are willing to actually, at the very least, move and put in the sort of work that is necessary to get good. And most of them are doing it without getting the same sort of praise that the people who have the good fortune of being very talented or like having other circumstances and so forth. So, as I said, learning how to code is easy. It's just not, like the process of doing it, or like getting a job, is also it's a very simple thing. You do this very simple, this thing. You go and learn. You sign up for the courses that are necessary. You need to figure out what tools that are relevant for the roles that you are looking for. You go and learn. There are tons of material, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos, thousands of hours, and then you make something. You take out your computer, you start coding, you make something. It's gonna suck, and then you repeat. And you repeat because you want to see, like, you keep on making things, and then you see if you learned the thing that you just read or studied, or like in these videos and so forth. You have to make things. And these toy projects, well, if they're not motivating you, or like you feel bored from doing them, then you have to make something else. It's that simple. You can only continue making things, and then you have to start applying to jobs. If you don't get the job, it is most likely because, as I said, you haven't gotten to a point where you're actually good enough to get work as a professional software developer. But that doesn't change the process. It's like it's like riding a bicycle, guys. If you are riding a bicycle, gonna have to deal with the fact that you might fall over and get some scrapes. Just as parents who are scared for their kids, you can't child-proof the universe. Your kids are going to fall down. They're gonna scrape their knees. Your job is to give them love and attention when it happens, and try to make sure that it doesn't happen in such a way that they don't get up again. But at the end of the day, it is really the exact same thing. You just keep, as long as you are breathing, as long as you're able, you have only that option. Learn, build, repeat. Apply for work, get rejected, continue, etc. It's the exact same process. And guys, you mean when I was a junior software developer, I was scared shitless almost every day. I work with people who are junior software developers who are scared shitless all the time. I try to make it easy on them, but the reality is that doing things that are new, that you are not so good at, etc., they are scary. I still find it scary to switch jobs. After all these years of working, I still feel like a gigantic scare, like a bag of leaves, when I'm trying to apply for a job, even though I know most of this stuff. But if I get a very technical question, I don't feel like I'm really I'm not really able to pass the exams or whatever, like when I do a code interview or so forth, I still feel bad about it. Last time I had I think I sent in the same code test 8 times to my last job, because I was so nervous about the first one, and I kept finding things that I could improve upon because I was scared shitless. And being afraid, as I like to say, fear is here to stay, guys. So you have to learn how to live with it. or to handle it at the very least. So what I want you to take away from this is that, as I said, guys, fear is not going anywhere. It's going to be with you for the rest of your life. But you have to learn how to deal with it. You have to learn how to deal with failure. You have to learn how to scrape your knees and then put disinfect and put a bandage on that thing and then continue. Because as I've said 100 times before as well, you only ever have two options, guys. Sit and wait or move. And the likelihood of you actually making something happen is higher if you move, because sitting and waiting doesn't always work. Sometimes it does, but most of the time it's better for you to have a direction, move somewhere. And the most important lesson that you can learn is, as I said, you have to be willing to fail. That is real commitment. A dream, like a nice little thinking. I mean, as there are, I don't remember who said it. Everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, for example, but nobody wants to lift heavy weights. Then you don't have a dream or an ambition or anything like that. You have this thing that would be nice if everything just fell into your lap. It's sort of like the people saying that, oh, I want to be rich, but they don't actually want to achieve anything to be rich. They just want to be rich. Who doesn't want to be rich without working for it? And that's the difference between having like a strategy for actually making something out of yourself, a career path, and having like a daydream or something like that. And as long as you keep on doing this on and off thing, and you can make up excuses for why you can't commit or things like that, this idea that you're going to be a software developer is going to stay a daydream for the rest of your life. You're never actually going to do it, because unfortunately for you, the reality is that it is a serious endeavor. It is something that takes time and effort, and the thing that you have to make happen for you is that you have to mentally be committed enough to do the work that is necessary to get to the finish line. And I know that you can do that, but in order for you to get there, which I can't help you with, it's just something that you can do. You have to get to a point where you are scared, but you still call the company, and you still go to the interview, and you get rejected. You feel shit for a little while, and then you go and take the next course, and then you build something, and then some time passes, because time heals all wounds. No matter how horrible you feel, you're probably going to start feeling better, and then you do the whole thing over again, and you repeat that thing until you get to where you want to go. I promise you it works. It's just not easy. Have a great day.